Hey everybody, Joe from Chilili, where we celebrate water in the garden with you each day. The end of the season's near and we have to decide if we're going to keep our annual water plants inside, pitch them, get new ones next year, or just what to do with them. So the first thing we have to do is jump on Chilili.com and find out if it's a perennial in your zone. Some plants are perennials here in St. Louis, but perhaps it's not a perennial where you're living. Many plants are very easy to overwinter inside. All we need to do is bring the container inside, put it in a brightly lit windowsill, put a dish underneath to collect water, and then water it as a houseplant the rest of the winter. Some plants just are too fussy, like these bluebells. They just don't like to be inside during the winter. So in that case, it's probably best to switch it out, get something new next year. The next thing you have to decide once you've figured out if you have an annual or perennial is whether or not your plant is even feasible size-wise to fit inside. Look at these giant papyrus. They're not even full grown, but in most houses, this plant will be overwhelming. So this plant is probably best to get a new one next year. Although papyrus is very easy to overwinter inside if you have the space. Again, all we're going to do is pick up that container, bring it inside in the brightest place you have, put a saucer to catch water underneath. You don't need to have the pond indoors in order to have these plants overwinter successfully. We do recommend that you let them dry out in between waterings, just like a house plant. Again, if you submerge the plant indoors, you may end up loving it to death. Tauros are an example of a plant that overwinter inside quite successfully. Again, just bring it in a brightly lit room, saucer underneath, water occasionally. Don't submerge it. It'll do much better during the winter, during those low light seasons, with a little less water over the top. Some people will dry these Tauros out completely and just store that bulb. That's a good thing to do with both Tauros and cannas. Just dry them out, store them completely out of the water, in a brown paper bag in a cool, dark area. Now your floating plants, such as water lettuce or water hyacinths, super popular plant to have in the water garden, very difficult to overwinter. It's typically not worth it. Even in our greenhouses, they will limp along all season long during the winter, and around Valentine's Day, they give up and say, try again next year. So hyacinths and lettuce, I would just toss them. Don't even try. If you didn't have any luck finding the plant on our website and you still need some extra help to deciding if it's an annual or perennial, you can email me a photo of it at info@chilili.com. We'll help you determine whether it's an annual or perennial and whether you should overwinter it inside or outside. I hope you come celebrate water in the garden with Chilili again. I do thank you for watching. Check us out at chilili.com, Facebook, or Instagram.